What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, Panda here, and today I bring you another video for Knighthood. Guys, I've gotten this question a lot over the last couple weeks, and that is, what do I do in Arena? I keep losing. How can I get better at Arena? So that's what we're going to talk about today. Arena is a pretty basic thing. Most games have Arena. It's just a 1 versus 1 in most situations battle where you take your team versus someone else's team, and whoever wins gets higher ranking and you get points, and you normally get rewards at the end of the week. Well, this game is not much different. If we go over here to the go-to option, we can click the versus arena, and it'll take us to our arena. So as you can see, we have 3 days and 23 hours left in this week, and you can obviously enter in. Now, each time you come in here, you will have 3 opponents that you can face. So for example, I have this level 26 Atra Dore, I think it's how you say it, maybe, I don't know. This level 26 Shima, and this level 33 Dime, and I can choose to fight any of these 3. Okay, as you can see, it does give you how much your score will be affected. So if I lose to this opponent, I will lose 15, I will gain 9. If I lose to this opponent, I will lose 12, and I will gain 12 if I win. Okay, also down here, you'll see that there are daily wins. I haven't done any PvP today, so I haven't gotten any wins. But as you can see here, you can get up to 9 wins, giving you a total of 40 additional daily crests, which you can use in the shop. So we'll go ahead and quickly go into the shop here. You can buy all sorts of things from the shop. I do plan on doing a shop guide, which will just talk about all the shops and what to focus on. But if you come in here, you can see you can buy all of these different things. These 2 things are just cosmetics. You have rank up equipment. As you can see, I've bought all the manganese. And you also have gem chests, equipment chests, and hero chests, right? So we'll do a guide on shops in the near future, so you guys can know exactly what to focus on in each shop. Another thing about Arena is that you can collect 3 free tickets a day, so make sure you're collecting these every day. They do stack, so just make sure you're collecting them every day. So, in Arena, I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to go into a match. So I'm going to come into here, and I'm going to show you what I do when I do my arena matches. So the first thing I do is I always check and see what level their minions are. The reason is because minions are the main focus of arena, which I know sounds weird. You'd think, oh, the knight's more important. You're right, the knight is more important, but if their minions are incredibly high level, it's going to be difficult to use the strategy that I'm going to offer for you. So you just want to keep in mind and make sure that, you know, you have a decent strat. So my thoughts here, what I do when I start, is I take 2 healers. I do sometimes, occasionally, I will take Burn because he focuses on health. He actually ignores armor. And once I get one of the other units that I will recommend at the end, I will also probably end up taking Burn a lot more. But for now, I just take 2 healers because the whole point of my strat right now is to just out-sustain the enemy. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go into this fight really quick. And I want you guys to keep in mind, in my beginner's tips and tricks guide, I've recommended that if you are fighting units with armor, that you punch. The reason why is because the armor has a bonus, the gauntlet has a bonus when hitting armor. So it's really important that you keep that in mind when you're attacking things. The only time that this would be different is if, for example, I am fighting in this fight, I believe, a cult minion. If my best weapon is a cult weapon, I would just use the basic attack because it's going to deal more damage because of the multiplier on the cult weapon. Right? But in most situations, it is going to be better to punch to build up the rage as well as to deal more damage to armor. Now, it is really nice to know what the minions do so that you can kind of decide who to focus, but the ultimate goal here is I want to focus down the minions before I touch the knight. The reason is because the minions each get 1 turn when the knight takes a turn, and they can attack, so they will burn you down quickly if you don't eliminate them. So I'm going to come over here to this guy because he know that he heals. This lady heals too, but this guy's a little squishier, so we're going to hit him. So we're going to punch. There you go, he's down. We're going to swipe here. Oh, I forgot. When you start, you only have 2 hits. That was my bad. So if you can take him a unit with 2 hits, then you're good. As you can see there, my guy was able to hit the cult guy, and he one-shot him. And then my skeleton was able to hit the knight and did a pretty decent chunk of damage. So this is why I recommend taking out the minions early on, because then your minions that you have will help you hit the knight and deal additional damage each turn. So he's got armor, so we're just going to go ahead and hit him with our punch. We are going to build up our rage meter so that we have a heal just in case we need it. Then once we have the rage meter built up, we're just going to use our weapon. So as you can see here, we've already dealt through almost his whole health bar at this point. He's taken out all his armor and a little bit of the actual health itself. I have found that occasionally the knights you fight are very dumb. Their AI is not very smart. And when that happens, then you kind of just get a free win because they don't actually use the hero abilities, which can be a little meh. But as you can see, we took him out pretty easily. Now keep in mind, this guy was much lower level, so if it's I have gotten into some fights where it's like I just can't win because they have two defensive heroes like Titania and Inara as well, and I just don't stand a chance. But guys, I do want to go over minions because as you saw there, minions is probably the most important part of PvP. And so we're going to go over a couple minions that I suggest. I've spoken with a couple higher level players and they have given me 4 minions that they believe to be the best, 2 of which are early game, 2 of which are, well, 2 of which are early game, 1 of which is like mid game, and 1 of which is definitely end game. But we're going to talk about these 4 units. And if you guys have different units that you recommend other than these 4, make sure to hit me up in the description below with all the information about that unit, because I'm all down. I've only really focused on the starting units that you get, just because I've been focusing on pushing through the story, not so much about arena. But I am moving into arena. So the 4 units we have, I'm going to start with the first one, which is the Battle Bear. So the Battle Bear is obviously a bear. He shows up in Cottleberry Woods hunts. So if you come over here to the hunt section, you can scroll down and all of them have names. So here's the Cottleberry Woods. It is in the 2nd area, High Guard, and it's the Zoe hunt. And he has a chance to spawn there, and he requires the Champion's Gauntlet to be equipped in order to catch him. Now keep in mind that this unit is very, very good, okay? He is a very good early game tank in DPS, but his ability doesn't really do much, it just deals damage, okay? There are some units that have different abilities that will do more for you, but early game, the Battle Bear is a very strong tank and a pretty decent DPS that most people recommend. And he's pretty early on in the story as well, you know, being just right here in Cottleberry Woods, so definitely not a bad option. The second unit that is recommended is the Goblin Flesh Crusher, which you can find here in the Abandoned Mine, and he requires a Chaotic Gauntlet to be unlocked. Now, Battle Bear, Goblin Flesh Crusher, Champions, and Chaotic are normally, well, Champions is the first one you unlock after the Knight's Gauntlet, and Chaotic is probably going to be one of the first, or one of maybe the first 3, depending on what you decide to do, of the gauntlets you're going to unlock. So definitely a pretty easy double combo to get pretty early on. Those are the 2 that I'm going to recommend that people grab early on because the Battle Bear does pretty good damage, has surprisingly tanky. The Goblin Flesh Crusher has a very interesting power, and I really like this power because it changes the dynamic of PvP. The Goblin Flesh Crusher has a chance to cause the debuff Dizzy, and the Dizzy debuff limits the Knight's action to 1 action per turn, which means he can only punch you once, he can only hit you with his axe once, he can only use 1 minion ability, or he can use 1 rage ability. That's amazing, especially because as you saw in the PvP match, you're normally going to get your minion abilities pretty quickly, right? I normally get my minion ability on the 2nd or 3rd turn, depending. Now, I don't know how the Goblin Flesh Crusher works. Sometimes maybe it's going to feel faster, maybe it'll feel slower, I don't know. But just being able to limit 3 attacks or 3 actions on a turn is incredible. That's taking away 75% of their efficiency, which is why I believe that the Goblin Flesh Crusher is an amazing unit to grab early on, because he's not only is he in the first section, but he requires one of the first gauntlets you're going to have access to. Now, we have the 3rd unit, which is one of the units that I am super excited to get, that I think will pair very well with Burn, that Goblin Rogue we have, and that is the Fenfolk Master Archer. Now, he is available in the Caton and the Kerboon hunts, so let's head down there. Right here, the Caton and the Kerboon. Okay, and he requires the Maniacal Gauntlet. Now, this is a gauntlet that is going to take you a little longer to get. I believe, if I remember correctly, this is the gauntlet that requires you to defeat 250 roaming monsters. And I want to say I'm maybe about halfway through right now. Now, I am not the biggest roaming monster farmer. I definitely don't farm roaming monsters maybe as much as I should. So if you are playing as long as I am, you might have this gauntlet unlocked if you focused more on roaming monsters. But I do believe that this unit is great. He hits health, which means he ignores armor. That is what he does, which is great because the armor, or the knight, has armor. Right? He also has a poison. Sorry, it's taking me a second there. A poison that he puts on the target, which makes me think that he will work pretty well with Burn, because Burn also applies poison, and his rage ability deals additional damage to poison, and both of those skills ignore armor. And this is huge because it'll allow you to sort of just, you know, not have to deal with as much of the health bar if you get enough damage on your Burn and your Master Archer to just ignore the health bar completely. So definitely a good unit to use is the Fenfolk Master Archer. Now, the last one is definitely the late game unit, guys, but he is phenomenal. I can't wait to get to late game, and that is the Vampire Lore Master. Now, he is available in Ogros Steel, Tenok Shore, and the Oranok Tower. Now, the reason why he is late game is because he is in Realm of Fire, which is the last zone currently available in the game. And as you can see here, I still have almost every single hunt to unlock in White Peak, and I've been playing the game for a little over 2 weeks now. So this is definitely a late game unit, but once you get access to Ogros Steel, Tenok Shore, and Oranok Tower, make sure that you do these daily in the attempt to get the Vampire Lore Master, because his ability heals allies and has a chance to grant Focus and Fury. In case you don't know what Focus and Fury is, Focus increases your crit chance and Fury increases your attack power. I believe both by 25%, which is huge. Not only does he heal your party, but he buffs your knight as well, which is amazing. He can also be unlocked with the Holy Gauntlet, which that gauntlet you're almost guaranteed to have by the time you get to Realm of Fire, as long as you've been, you know, actively playing the game, which if you're not actively playing the game, you're probably not going to get to ROF anytime soon. But the Vampire Lore Master is probably the best unit that I have heard of and that I have seen so far to use in PvP. Now, you're probably thinking, cool, Panda, you gave me all these units. You told me how to, you know, what gauntlet you need, but how do I get them? Well, that's a good question, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to show you. So if you come down here, we're going to go to, let's see, we'll pick, I don't know, let's pick Brambleview. Let's just go to Brambleview, okay? And you come here and you click enemies. Well, as you can see here, you can see what enemies you're going to be fighting. Well, remember on the gauntlets, right, when you saw that little cage icon, right? We're going to go here. We'll go to the little cage icon. You see the little cage icon on the gauntlet? Well, you're looking for that little icon right here when you're on that enemy screen. If you see that gauntlet minion sign on the enemy, that means it is a capturable minion. Now, you need to make sure that you equip the gauntlet in order to capture the unit. But in order to capture it, all you have to do is get it to spawn, have the correct gauntlet, and fight it. Which means you have to kill it. You cannot, and I'm going to reiterate this, you cannot raid the hunt to capture the minion. You must manually fight it. Now, you can put it on auto and have it just auto through, but you have to physically kill the unit in order to capture it, guys. That's very important. I've had so many people go, oh, I found Battle Bear, and then they go, wait, I didn't get him. And I'm like, well, did you, like, kill him? Well, yeah, I did the raid. Oh, well, you can't raid. You have to actually kill the unit. That's very important, guys. Okay? So that is my top 4 units for Arena and the sort of beginner's guide to doing Arena. Like I said, focus on the minions, punch as much as you can, double healers to begin with, move on to double tank minions in Arena to deal lots of damage and be super survivable, so maybe you'll win some defenses. Right? And just make sure you do at least, this is my last piece of advice here, is do at least 2 battles a day, 2 wins a day, so you can get your extra, what is it, 5 crests, okay? And then build up until you have 9 total, and then try to get 9 wins in one day to get that big 40 boost. I just did that yesterday, and it was juicy. I got a lot of stuff from that 40 boost. All right, guys, that is it for me today. Make sure to like this video if you liked it. If you didn't like it, hit the dislike button. That's cool too. Let me know of anything you guys want to see in the future, including other games. I'd like to branch out. So if you guys have other games you want me to try and you want to get my impressions on it, put them in the comment section below. I'll check them out. If I think they're worth enough to put on the channel, I'll put them on the channel. You guys can see at least a first impressions guide. Also, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Guys, we are almost to 500 subs. And remember, when we get to 500 subs, we're getting a gem giveaway. So keep that in mind, guys. I hope you liked the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.